Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let me see. Hi, Susan. Hey, did you get my reply to the email you sent? Hey, what big eyes? Hey, Outlaw Trucker, you were the first one in. Justice for Summer Wells, I agree. Hey, Chasing Justice, we're going to put a link up for you in a minute. I had a question for you. And I don't know how to get a hold of you either. Hey, Katie Bird, I know you got my email. Hey, Amy. Hey, Michelle. Aggie, hello, my friend. Let me see if I got everybody. I think I'm missing a few people. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Creepy Barbie, good morning. Hey, that one, Ginger. Hey, Tammy. Rake's Funny Farm. Hello, Rake's Funny Farm. And hey, Deb. Highway Trucker. Good morning, my friend. Hey, Snow. I think I got everybody. I'm kind of scrolling through fast. So, if y'all have noticed, there's been a lot of not posting and not talking about summer with everything going on with Gabby. And that's how it works in the true crime world. You know, we have another case going on, and it's obviously folding out very fast in front of all of us. So for, anyone to be in here today doing a live about summer when we know there are no updates, there's no arrests, they have not found Summer. I love that. I love that because I couldn't believe when I was looking at different Facebook groups and everything. I'm like, so they went from 20, 30 posts a day to like one. Hi, Marie. Hi, Kay. Hey, May. May's here from Scotland. Okay. Hey, thanks, Chasing Justice. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? It's just how it works, right? When there's breaking news, people obviously follow that. Hello, AJ. Hey, Holly. So I'm going to bring Kevin up real quick, and we'll visit with him for a minute. Let everybody get settled in and get their seat and their coffee, their orange juice, their bagel, whatever y'all do in the morning. Good morning, my friend. What Big Eyes just said exactly.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brooks.
Good morning.
Good
Katie
morning.
just said, we need more info and people looking for summer. Exactly. Good morning, Shine On.
That is exactly what we're trying to do.
Well, and the thing is, when I heard yesterday that Governor DeSantis, he is, pulling out no stops to find Brian and get justice for Gabby, which, by the way, is absolutely wonderful. My heart sank a little bit for Summer. Why can't we pull out all the stops in Tennessee to find Summer? The arrogance of Dawn and Candace, it's almost like they're laughing at everyone. Laughing. I agree, Michelle. I wish John Walsh would get on Summer's case. Don't you, Kevin?
Yeah, I wish somebody would. Yeah, that's the thing. I wish, when Summer first went missing, why wasn't there a crowd outside their house? Because, Gabby's parents did what a parent would do if your child was missing. So take Gabby, that is the norm for someone that is totally wanting to find their daughter. Compare that to the Wells. That's a big difference. That just goes to show you how shitty parents they are. Pathetic.
They are. They're the
Seriously.
worst. I'm really surprised they didn't do anything last night. Because it seems like on Tuesdays, those two get tanked up and pull some kind of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What? It's obvious that Summers they know where she is. In my heart and in my honest opinion, Candace Don, and Grandma knows that Summer is impossible to find.
Thank you.
I
You
mean,
and I have spent a lot of time talking about that.
yeah, and that's a heartbreaker, you know, really, it is. But man, what if, you know, and it looks like, I don't know, man, it's sad, but what if they know 100% that it is physically impossible to find Summer? Look how they're acting, cocky. They just they're not worried,
Right.
you know? And it's not the type of not worrying like their pranks and shit. They just know. In my opinion, they know exactly what happened to Summer, where she is, and it is impossible to find her.
Right. I think that's why they are so cocky. I think that's the reason Grandis doesn't really have anything to say. Hey, good morning, Phoenix. Hey, Okie Mama. I just think that Candace and Dawn are very confident in that no one is going to be able to find her.
Yeah.
I think they honestly believe with no body, they can't do anything to them.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Now, Nick,
hard to swallow.
It is. It's awful. These are sick people. Now, Nick Barris did have a recent update. He says he gets a lot of emails. He gets a lot of calls, people wanting to know if this is a cold case. And he said it absolutely is not. This is not a cold case at all. He didn't say anything's going to be happening tomorrow, but he said they are diligently working on it. Did you see that article, Kevin?
Yeah. And yeah. The other thing is that I truly believe, these are my opinions. These are mine. I truly believe that they are going to get in trouble with CPS. They're going to get jail. But one thing that I am kind of hopeful about is that all right, they got the CPS case against them. Maybe, why? It's hard to explain this. Why hasn't CPS arrested them yet? Right?
Well, CPS can't arrest anyone. CPS can't. I'm going to get that for the chat real quick. CPS can't arrest anyone, but CPS can say that they believe that the kids were neglected, endangered, and they could find charges on that. But CPS is an arresting agency. I just want to clear up the chat. I know what you mean.
Yeah, what I'm saying is hopefully law enforcement hasn't brought the CPS thing up yet because of Summer. Maybe they know more. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, if they need to give their file over to them and say, this is what they found. This is how the boys were treated.
Right. And so there's no foul play with Summer and they can't prove nothing. I think by now they would have arrested them on the CPS charges alone. Now, right. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Nope, that's exactly right. Exactly. The thing is, I know people are saying that there's leaked documents, and of course there's always rumors. I don't know exactly what the CPS charges are. Is it neglect, endangerment? What is it? Is it
abuse?
Yeah, because you pulled up all that stuff on, Tennessee CPS yesterday, and it takes about 45 days to do an investigation. So I guess the timeline of them taking the boys does make sense. It's just odd to me that they took the boys after they stopped searching. Is chat messing? Is something messing up, Phoenix? Because it's rolling here just fine.
Yeah, my end's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play this video real quick, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
3 months since 5-year-old Summer Wells was first reported missing from her home in Hawkins County.
The disappearance of little Summer sparked a major search, with hundreds of first responders coming in from all over the nation. This 5's Kristen Kwan has more tonight on the latest news from the investigation.
This prayer garden in Beach Creek was once filled with photos, balloons, and toys for 5-year-old Summer Wells. Now, it's mostly empty. It's been 3 months since Summer went missing, but some are still holding on to hope.
I know God's got her in his hands and keeping her safe. It's just a matter of when she's coming home.
Jesse Mulvane has organized prayer circles in Kingsport every Saturday evening since the beginning of July.
It was this burden on my heart. God put the burden on my heart to say, hey, we need to do something.
The TBI says they've received more than 1,200 tips, but none of those had led to finding Summer.
At the end of the day, they have to filter through, thousands upon thousands of data bits in order to figure out what that one thing is that may lead to the case being resolved.
The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office declined a request for an interview, but criminologist Alex Del Carmen says as long as the tips keep coming in, law enforcement will keep searching.
Oftentimes now with technology, with DNA, tracing, and with various tools that we have now that we never had, before, there's a likelihood, especially if attention continues to be on the case, that at some point just that one lead is gonna lead the investigators to resolve the incident. So that's our hope.
And as the search continues, these signs will continue to pop up, and the prayer gatherings will continue until there's answers.
I believe God's got a miracle coming, and God's going to bring it back home. I believe deep in my heart.
In Hawkins County, Kristen Kwan, News 5, WCYB.
Who's removing the stuff that people are putting there in support of Summer? Is it Dawn and Candace? Where's the stuff going? They said it's empty now. I could see them taking stuff away because it probably annoys them. Hell, they didn't want to search anyway. What did you think, Kevin?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's what I hope to God that that's true. What they were all just saying, that there's so much stuff that TBI's got to go through before maybe they can even find her. You know what I mean? Like pinpoint kind of an area where she might be. What I pray also, though, is that Dawn, Candace, and Grandma, I pray that Summer is not physically impossible to find.
That's what I worry about. That's what I worry about.
That's what worries me.
Because look at the update. The update said they were showing. Search and rescue came from all over the country. Thousands of people. Amber Alert, billboards. There's probably 300 YouTubers covering it. And there's no Summer? 1,200 tips and no Summer? Seems to me the only problem here, besides Summer being missing, is the adults. Dawn, Candace, and Grandis.
Yeah, Dawn, where's your daughter?
Where's your daughter?
On. Yeah, no. They are not grieving parents at all. They're sitting up on that hill in that piece of shit they call a house that they had for them kids. Where's Summer? I know damn good and well they know where she's at, in my opinion. You could sit, I just don't see how how you can just be like that,
No, how could you?
And the only thing he has to say, really, that he has said, oh, I'm innocent. Yeah, okay.
Well, look at
I
this.
didn't see him. Get on the news, Don, and ask for your daughter. Get on the national news. That's what you would do if your daughter was abducted. Why aren't you on the news? You know why? Because people are going to look at him trying to give a fake-ass plea, and he's going to look like a dumbass, guilty, because he can't match the actions and the eyes and everything to his plea. You know, that's okay. The big man upstairs knows your shit, Don.
Exactly. The Lord knows your heart, Don, so you can quote all the scriptures you want. You can talk about what a God-fearing man you are. Doesn't matter what you say. He knows what's in your heart.
Yeah.
It is a
His
train
heart
wreck.
ain't.
Kenny, it is a train wreck. It is a shit show.
That's all it is.
And
Wow.
you've said for weeks, if it was my daughter, I would be going to the national news level. I wouldn't stop. So we go back to Gabby's parents. And I'm not trying to confuse cases or take anything away from Summer.
Right.
Is Dawn pissed about all the fanfare that Gabby's family is getting? Or would he rather just keep talking to Benny? Because at any time he wants, he could reach out to the National Press Corps and probably get more media for himself.
I guarantee you, if Don Wells right now went to the national news media, they'd put him on in a second. I guarantee you. You know why? It'd be a comedy show because he would look fake because he is fake.
Uh-huh.
He is. I'm calling you out, Don. You are full of shit. You know, and see, the way they handle people is him and his little freaking clan. They attack people. They threaten, you know. And this is my opinion. You know, Don's right behind it with all this threatening of women and stuff. You know, these YouTube creators, they bring something out, and the only way to attack them is by scaring them. It's bullshit. I'm sick of it. All of them. I mean, if you really think about it, they are pathetic human beings, man. Ugh. I wish they lived next door to me. And
Me too.
You know.
Oh, they would never live next door to you, my friend. Oh, man.
I'd have CPS on them every day.
Hang on, our friend What Big Eyes is coming up.
All right.
How's it going, my friend?
It's going. I'm having a problem this morning.
What is it?
Well, I did a video and I was trying to upload it, and it's about Summer, okay?
Mhm.
And
Okay.
that really gets me double frustrated when they mess with me when I can't do that.
Right.
And it's on the connections in the community.
Oh.
It's going to be really make you think. The thing goes way deeper. You know, Don and Candace and Grandis couldn't get away with this crap if they didn't have backing.
Yeah.
Good point. Is he
Just
really
think about it.
related to Sheriff Lawson?
It's all about family ties, and I'm not talking about the family series on TV.
Well,
And that's all I'm going to say. But here's the deal. You know, you look at Gabby's dad, and he goes on Dr. Phil
He went,
right away, you know.
got John
And-
Walsh from
Yeah.
America's Most Wanted. And
Exactly.
this idiot is sitting on the toilet talking to Benny.
Right. He's sitting on I don't know if he was sitting on the toilet, but he was shooting up. Everybody thinks he was doing the other thing, but no. He was shooting up. That's what they do. They put it into their groin, and it gives them the biggest rush. And that's what he was doing, and just really showing us, look, I'll do drugs in front of everybody, and you're going to like it. That's what he was doing.
I'll tell you what he was doing. Being an ass and being stupid. That's all he is. You know? He's
And
up there
those, and those two dum-dums think they're going to get their boys back when they're doing that on camera.
Right.
And what kind of a friend is Benny that he actually played that video and left it up?
Exactly.
That's Benny for you, though.
He wants the views. He's such an attention whore.
Yeah.
Excuse my French.
That's all right. You can say whatever you want.
You can say it. Hey, Chasing Justice is backstage.
Put her
Come
up.
on up.
What's going on, my friend?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Morning.
Good. So I saw your video the other day that you're still getting harassed. What's going to happen
Oh
if you
yeah.
can tell us?
It's just a matter of paperwork. It's all been filed. He thinks it's a joke.
Yeah.
He keeps messaging me. In fact, before he went live this morning, he messaged me 3 times because I had told him, like, I'm smart enough to know to never call him. Like, I've never reached out to him except the 1 or 2 short replies I've given to his messages. And, I make sure that I post all of that stuff. And I don't have all these, editing skills where I can make a bunch of stuff up. Like I said the other day, I don't even know how to screen share yet. So I'm still figuring all this stuff out.
Well, you can get my phone number and I'll show you what I know, but it's very
Okay.
limited.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and I don't know
and I
shit
told
about it.
him,
So
I said, I predict that you'll be in jail in the next 24 to 36 hours. Well, what he doesn't realize is that every time he messages me after that, it's another statement I have to give. It's like an addendum to the report. And had he ever actually done a victim's advocacy course, then he would know what words addendum and things like that mean. So
I'll
it
tell you
just,
something right now. I hate to butt in, but Benny Keys, in my opinion, he knows the law. He's a fucking criminal.
yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's like
He does.
Don
He's
Wells.
very smart in that aspect. And that's
He
why,
is.
when
That's
these
something to be
women,
proud of.
no, not at all. And he's got this, and you look at the people, his subscribers, he brags about having over 6,000. Well, that's great. I
Yeah.
would be proud of him if he did something that mattered. And, these women that he's harassed for so many months, it just kind of fell into my lap. But I'm not going to allow it anymore. So, and I've been quite transparent with him throughout every step of this. This isn't about me. I can take whatever he can dish out. He's attacking my looks now, and it's just that's what
Yeah.
he's got.
Yeah,
Like he's such a charmer.
when you do that, and when you attack people's looks, okay, then you have no argument.
Right. And so, where most people might get upset by that, he said some hurtful things. I'm not going to lie. It
Of
just
course, it's
didn't hurt
very
me.
hurtful.
It just didn't hurt me. He didn't get the reaction he was hoping for. What did I do? I addressed it head on, and I made a little, like a 3-minute response video and addressed all the things he criticized about me. And I know it drove him up the wall because he then took a picture from that video and sent it to me this morning. That's how childish he is.
Well, it's not only that. You know what else it is? They're Don and Ben. They're both narcissists. You know,
Exactly.
Benny is a control freak.
He
Bad.
is.
And so is Don. So anytime they always try to manipulate the story and turn it around and make them look like the victim.
Right.
But
that's
once you figure that out,
that's exactly what he's
what,
done.
yeah, that's exactly what he does.
He edited, like he took clips of my voice from other videos I've done, and he tried to edit them all together and make it sound like I called him. It's on one of his streams. I don't even know which one. So anyone can go. It was a recent one, I think maybe from day before yesterday. But he edited all this stuff together so that it sounds, and there's some words that are definitely my voice. I will talk to that, but it's not me calling him. I just want to clarify that. I would never call him. So he made it sound like he answered the phone and I told him he was a meth head pedophile. And he asked me, he's like, oh, so I'm this, and then it repeated it again, and he got the word buddy in there because I always call him buddy.
So
And
I do that.
he just made this ridiculous phone call So, I had to go take 3 minutes out of my day and address that. So it's just like, and then he'll make the statement, or I'll see people comment, Benny's not about that tit for tat BS. Well, yes, this is a perfect example of it, because he's not expecting me to keep coming back. He thinks I'm just going to, run in fear like he's been able to do the rest of these women. And it's not that they're weak women. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. These are very strong women who just, when you take so much and you take so much, and it's gotten very personal with him. He's threatened to shoot people, shoot their
Yeah,
husbands multiple
yeah,
times.
I know.
And I have the proof of all of that. So,
Wow.
like, his life is really in the palm of my hand.
But you know what though? That dude, it would not surprise me if he knows that's what you're going to do, what you're doing. Is
Yeah.
Benny smart enough to play the game like at that level? You know, that's the thing about him, man.
Well, see, and that's
That
the
dude,
thing. He just had the police at his house last week, and
right,
he had just been smoking pot on camera, and he knows that we have to catch him right in the act, and that's coming straight from the Plano Police Department. That's hard to do when you're not with him, and he knows that. But all
right,
of that is just a misdemeanor compared to all the other stuff he's done. I don't care about the pot. You want to get loaded every day of your life? That's on you.
right. Yeah,
So, but it's because of situations like that where he's been able to skate by. I mean, yes, he is telling the truth when he says that the police have been called on him multiple times. They absolutely have. Have I gone that low? No, I haven't called the police on him in an act, and I'm not saying that that's not the right thing to do. Yes, call him if that's what you feel needs to happen. But he knows he can get by with it. So he's
right. Okay, well, here's the thing about Benny too. Like right now, he's loving this attention. So we'll talk about Benny for 3 more minutes. And then, because this man, this is what he wants from us. This man, I agree with you. He's gone too far. You start threatening and shit, then it's time on your end to do something. But he also knows stuff, and he knows what he can get by with. So we'll give
right.
Benny attention for a few more minutes, and then this is about Summer.
Well, I just want to
So
make sure that chasing justice is okay.
Oh,
Because
yeah, no
I'm
shit.
definitely
this
okay.
dude
I
is
mean,
unhinged, and all of this came from the Summer case. And
exactly.
so,
And
people saying, what does that have to do with Summer? It's someone else that's covering Summer, but not for the right reasons.
Chasing justice. When did Benny start?
And so we're addressing it so that way everyone understands that that's not somebody you want to follow.
What started all this?
I've always been annoyed with him.
Right?
This whole victims advocacy thing, because like I guess he just thinks that, I'm not the different breed of person that I say I am. He tries to discredit my education. And when I say that I'm like literally 5 minutes away from a degree in criminal justice, I mean it. It's not just I'm in debt to go to school. So to
Oh, I
have
believe
someone
you.
like him get up here and try to make money off of people who, that could be their only $50 a month that they had to spend on themselves. And they were willing to pay that money for a course from someone who's not qualified to teach it. There's a difference in a victim's advocate who actually fights for the good and fights for people who have been wronged in the criminal justice system or who have lost a loved one to crime. That's different than being a sympathizer, which is more kind of like what he is. But I wouldn't even go so far as to give him that much credit because he really doesn't care. He doesn't
Nope.
care at all. It is
Nope.
about money to him. And so for them to get all fired up and want to start a petition to get rid of people. Like the first people he went after was unmasked. That was the tipping point for me. That's where, I got to the point where
They
how
do
can
great
I
work for
go
people. They do great work for missing people.
exactly? And
They
so
do
to
great work. That
and
show they did about Gannon Staunch, the coverage they've had for summer
yes,
is
I have
wonderful. Why
nothing
would
but
you
respect
want to discredit someone doing such a good job?
because the spotlight wasn't on him. They got
Yeah.
an interview
Control.
time
It's a
was
control
one of
issue.
those.
What it
So
is.
So what do you guys think? Deb's up here now. Her microphone's muted, but she'll unmute it. I think what
Hi.
big guys, I can't see her. So
Yeah.
what do
hi.
you think
Hello.
Hi.
happening here with Summer?
Can
I
everybody
mean,
hear me?
I can hear you, Deb.
I
You've
can
never
hear
been on
you.
Yep.
camera before. You've got the floor, my friend.
Hi, Brooke. Hi,
Hi, hon.
Kevin. Hi, Juicy
Hello.
Justice. Hi, What Big
Hi,
Eyes.
Deb.
Hey,
You know what's strange to me is when when Chris McDonough went through the house. Did anybody see a bathroom where they could take a bath or a shower? Or
No.
And I was
I
looking
mean,
for that.
was he taking a dump in like a pail or what?
Yeah.
It's something
A
you got to think
You know
about.
what? You know what I just thought of? If Don Wells had a brain, he'd be dangerous. So
Oh
would Benny.
yeah.
No,
You have to be
Dawn
really
is dangerous. Dawn is
No,
dangerous.
can you imagine if he had a brain? He'd be scary.
You know, and the
Right.
other thing that occurred to me was, she got a piece of candy from Grandma. Well, two things could have happened there. One could be she choked on the candy because it could be a hard candy. Most grandmas have hard candy, right? Like peppermints and stuff. Or she was so stoned she made a mistake and gave her one of her pills. You know,
Mm,
that's
that could
where the
be.
accident comes in, and they know who she is. And I mean, it's been so long. It's sad to say, but I don't think they're going to find her alive.
Oh no, they're not going to find her alive.
No.
I
And,
don't believe. I don't believe there's any rich woman that's taking care of her. There's no sympathizer. Something happened between those three adults watching her. What do you think? What big eyes?
yeah, I believe that something terrible happened. And it's a big cover up.
yeah.
It's a big cover
There's
up
all
for sure.
kinds
Like,
of theories.
My
well,
You
theory
know,
has
there's all kinds of
always,
theories. But
yeah,
in my opinion, these are my opinions. In my opinion, Summer is not alive, period. In my opinion. I don't
yeah,
think
it's
so.
sad to say,
I,
Kevin. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
I hate saying
In
that.
my personal
Don.
opinion, I don't think she's alive. I think that something happened that exact day, and she called Dawn. Dawn came home, took her, put her somewhere. I don't know. Dumped her somewhere, and came back
Way
home. And
like trash, in my opinion.
yeah,
well,
it's just
I
awful.
always thought from the beginning that, like, just in the pit of my stomach, I felt like it was an accident, and Candace and Grandma panicked because of, and this is if they actually did have an open CPS investigation at the time she went missing that was unrelated to this. They panicked because they had just lost one child, but in their minds, they thought if they reported it, well, then they would definitely lose the other three too. So that's
And
where
Well,
it,
I was
see,
at for the
what,
longest time until
right?
Don started talking. Once he started talking, then I started to, I still have the theory in the back of my head that it was an accident and just a big cover up. But I also am thinking it's quite possible that Don did something, whether intentionally or unintentionally. I think that there's a possibility he is directly related into her not being here. And I'm like fighting back tears right now, but just because
it's
I don't
hard.
spend a lot of time reporting on Summer, it doesn't mean that I don't carry that innocent, precious little girl with me every day. I
I
have
pray
a
for her every
7-year-old
night.
little girl, so she's not much older
Let,
than Summer.
let's
And
not
every time
forget.
I look at her, I think of the possibilities and, the life that Summer still had left to live.
Yeah, but what kind of life was she
This.
living? What kind of life
Exactly.
was she living with Don, the pedophile Wells?
That's true. I mean, if she, and I do feel she's no longer with us, so there's no doubt in my mind that she's in a better place. But, at least when she was still here, there was a chance. There was a
Yeah.
chance to be persistent and get those children out of that house. Because what we saw on Benny's live stream that night, if that's any indication of what daily life was like for those children, then yes, I would have gone in and taken all of them home with me if I could.
Weren't they
Okay,
supposed to go
I
that
want to
same
say
day?
something. Listen, Candace, let's not pussyfoot around Candace too, because every child that Candace has been neglected, taken away. One of them got hit in the head with a bat under her care. So she's been doing this shit since she spit babies out. You
And
know,
she used to just
Candace is
lose her
evil.
children.
That woman is evil,
Yeah, they're
in my
definitely
opinion.
they just don't have what's instilled in the majority of the population, and that's the ability
No.
to parent children.
But weren't CPS supposed to go in that same day that she went missing to check out to get the kids?
I want verification of that
Well,
because
that's what I.
that's what makes more
I'll
sense.
be right back. I have to take a phone call.
Okay, that they
Okay.
were scared about CPS coming in. Has anybody heard any different? What do you think? What Big Eyes?
Yeah, I've heard that. That was, the reason behind Summer disappearing was to throw shade, so stop them from taking the kids. But I don't know. I found no verification of that. It's just
Right.
like talk.
Yeah,
But
and Big Eyes, I know
definitely,
where you're headed. I know where you're headed on this. We haven't even talked about it, but I know what you're saying, and it could very well be true. I think if it is, you know, let's say, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but let's just say there are some people involved that would make it would blow your mind that could be true. And if it is the case, I think it's going to be it will be revealed, but I don't know when.
If she
right.
was sold, like, which is like a terrible thought, but if she was fit to be trafficked, she'd be better off dead right now um
Yeah,
than dealing with being in that kind of situation.
that's what I yeah.
I mean,
It's
we
bad no
look at
matter
all
how you
the
look at it. So
you look at everything that's going on and you say, okay, well, she could be there, she could be here. Well, if she's been taken by bad people that are going to traffic her, then she's better off dead. I mean, she just is. I mean, I think her
I hope
first five
God is
years of her life,
watching
she
her.
was
That's all
already
I hope.
getting abused, in my opinion.
I just pray the big man upstairs is keeping an eye on her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Because what that little girl had to endure her whole 5 years of existence, and the boys, let's not forget about them either. What
Nobody
those
should have to
kids,
endure that.
no, what those kids had to go through have left deep, deep. It has ruined part of their life forever.
For sure.
Because of those freaking two pathetic human beings. They're a waste of oxygen, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm saying hell.
Um,
I said
I
the
just
F word.
always thought when the CPS rumor started circulating, I really thought that was it, especially when Don said he's never going back to prison, and whoever did
Right.
it, he doesn't want them to go to prison.
Yeah,
yeah,
can you
but when
believe somebody would say that if your child was abducted? Come on.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
when who voices behind the drywall talked to him, she said, "Do you think you're gonna go to jail for this at the end?" And he said, "Oh, likely." Why would you say that?
Why did he also
Well,
say he's going to eat good food, work out, and get a tan in prison? Prison would be a vacation.
the only thing
Exactly.
he's going to need is a butt plug.
Ooh, boy, come
He's
on,
gonna be
baby.
Bubba's bitch.
You know,
Oh,
seriously,
wow.
because if he gets arrested for summer, he's in prison. They call him chomos. Okay, he won't last a damn week in general population, and he knows that. I'm sure he's listening. So Don, you might as well buy a lot of soap because you're going to get it, buddy.
Unless
You
they put him
know,
in
and you deserve
solitary.
every piece of it, in my opinion.
Unless they put him in solitary, in which case it's not even better
Yeah.
because you're always alone and you're only allowed out 1 hour a day.
Yep.
And that's when the general population is not outside. So, you know, either way, he's I won't use the word I want to use. He's screwed. So,
So you mean fucked?
yeah,
Is that what you meant? Okay. Just wanted to get that clear. But
yeah.
Yeah.
we don't use
Well,
that word a lot here, but I've already explained the definition of
Yes,
the
you
F
did.
word.
Yes, you
Yes,
yeah.
I
did.
did. And I sure did.
That
But
was
anyway,
It's an
sometimes
adjective.
because sometimes it's educational around here too. We don't just talk.
exactly. And I still have that if people haven't heard it. So
Yep. Don't drop the soap, Don. Don't drop the soap while you're on your vacation, my friend.
the only place he's going is not
He's
good, I
been
can
there
tell you
before. Maybe he
that.
likes that.
What?
He's been in jail before. Maybe he likes that kind of thing.
Evidently he does because this is the thing, man. I'm trying to pull this home that Don, okay, he's been to prison. He knows, well, he definitely knows jailhouse religion. That's obvious. He's not a preacher, that's for damn sure. And Don knows, you see, this is my opinion, Don knows exactly what he's doing and what he can get away with. He's not, I don't think he's so dumb that or whatever that he doesn't realize the shit he's doing. He knows. I don't know, man. That's just shit that only lowlife can figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, look at him. My avatar. There's Don for you. Just look at
I'd
my
rather not look at
avatar.
him, especially when the last vision I had of him was him taking a dump or shooting up or something, and God knows where. Because I never
Well, if
saw
he was
bathroom
shooting
that
up,
way.
it was shitty dope. You know why? Because I was a drug addict for years. I IV drug used. Well, I'll tell anybody. I don't use now. I haven't used for years. But
Congratulations.
if he was shooting up, yeah, he ought to take it back because it wasn't any good. Because normally when you shoot up, you can't even talk. Okay?
Well, look.
You are so high, the rush
Yeah.
is so intense. And I'll bet you there has to be one person in chat right now that understands exactly what I'm saying.
Well, did anybody have a look at Candace?
Oh my God, she looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
a
Now
zombie.
she got the good dope. Don didn't. She burned Don. She kept the good part and gave Don the bullshit. Yeah. Wow.
But he had his
Sorry, I'm
sunglasses
so
on, and then he
sorry.
wears his sunglasses to go to the bathroom.
No, you're
Right?
fine.
And just walk
Who wears
around
their
the house with
sunglasses
your
in the house at
sunglasses
night?
on. I wouldn't be able to. I'm blind as a bat. I would be running into things left and right.
Yeah, why would you wear your sun? He just did that to try to look cool. He,
I think he did it because he has a black eye and he didn't want anyone to see it. He can't explain that.
Candace
How do
probably
you explain his
belted
black
him once.
eye?
He did look
He could
like
do.
he had some bruising.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
he
guarantee
did.
Candace could whip a bear. I guarantee Candace could whip a bear.
If I was a woman, I wouldn't want to fight Candace.
He couldn't be
Unless
cool
I-
if he couldn't look cool if he tried.
No, he's not
He's
cool
like, did you see his
whatsoever.
hair? It looked so gross.
What
What
when
do
you
y'all-
look,
What do y'all think about these women that actually find Dawn attractive? And they
I
were
don't understand. I'll never understand. And a lot of it has just like come to be since his since Summer went missing. You know, he's in the spotlight, and I'll never understand that why women, you know, flock to these guys like this, these
Yeah.
criminals. You know, no matter what they look like. I mean, even Dahmer, you know, had quite the following, and
Baked
I
him a
just,
cake and drove an hour to the prayer vigil to personally give it to him. Come on.
yeah, I'll
Benny,
just never
Benny,
understand.
Benny Keys, where are the birthstone rings you promised Don? Where are they? Okay,
Right.
Benny Keys said on Sharon Prairie Boy 666 video that he was getting Donnie Candace birthstone rings for him. Where are they, Benny? Huh? Let me see you
Exactly.
dress that on one of your flipping posts. Where are the
Well, I
rings,
think
Benny?
someone asked
Yeah.
about that in someone's chat I think it was yesterday. It might have been Mandy C's chat. I don't know. And, you know,
Yeah. What's the
I'm not
deal with
sure. But
Mandy? What's
someone
going
said
on?
that Cher messed up and forgot to get Candace's size or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know
okay.
exactly. But, you know, and he also promised to give all of the month of August, I believe, super chats and YouTube revenue to Summer's reward fund.
Who, Benny?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
BS. BS.
Well, how's
So
Benny getting his super chat? Because we've never gotten a super chat. People send them in, and it's very much appreciated. It's never been sent to us. It's still being held by YouTube. It always says,
wow.
yeah, it always says it's not ready yet. Because, you know, we want to give to the reward fund.
Right.
He ain't making no money off of
Well,
YouTube,
that
Benny
makes me
ain't.
mad because I like once a month I make my rounds and you know I go drop a few empty ones. I want to know that the people are getting it. I'm gonna have to look into that because people shouldn't just be donating money to people and then you guys not even get it. That's not right.
I think it's just because we're so new and things are being held up, you know, and
Yeah,
that's all
that
right.
could be.
You're not going to make any money off advertising, but when people send a super chat, you know, YouTube takes part of the money. And then the other part, you know, some people, you know, it's like a supplemental income. And then some people, you know, like Kevin and I, we have, you know, other jobs. And
I
so
don't make nothing on YouTube, so
yeah,
nothing.
I'm not even
we want to give it
monetized
to the
yet. I mean,
we want to give it to the reward fund.
right.
But the reward fund is gonna go to like I
Civis
don't even know
Bank.
who at the end of 6 months.
No, if you want to donate to Summer Wells, Civis Bank. I wouldn't do it to anybody else but Civis Bank. That's my opinion. I'm not
Right.
But I'm
And I
saying
not. I'm
know
not in.
that Tiffany
I'm not.
Marie and AB, they have
right.
all the bank information on their
Yep.
community page, I think.
I was just getting ready to say that. AB has
Yeah.
where you can donate.
The
And
thing
I
Yeah,
is,
think
I'm looking at a
I'm
lot
not
of
in
stuff in
America.
chat right here, and people are like, "Don't do the reward fund. Give it to EquiSearch because EquiSearch, the way they show up, and I know Don says they're just there to party and they go from lake to lake to lake, and
Oh
they're
my
always
God.
at the bar. EquiSearch
so.
is a top-notch program.
Let
And
me ask
EquiSearch
Don
is
this. Hey, everybody, who would you rather? You know, Don threw Tim Rader under the bus. I mean, Dave Rader. Who would you trust more, Dave Rader or Don Wells?
Dave
You
Dave
know,
Rader.
Rader
I
all day long.
guarantee you, if you send money to EquiSearch, they're not going to scam your money. But you
Exactly.
just go
No,
ahead and send
no.
your money to some of these other, you know, it's
Yes.
just, you got to be
I
careful where you
mean,
send it.
They don't
Uh,
charge anything for the services. They're
no,
just good-hearted people.
yeah, those people are awesome. So,
Yeah.
yes.
And I can't believe that he threw him under the bus and then, well, he apologized, of course, like he always
of course
does.
you did.
Well, you know, Benny Keys apologized to me the other day, sent me a message
Yeah.
telling me, you know, he thinks I'm a very intelligent woman and, you know, he would like to be friends with me, but we would have to have an understanding. And then what does he do? Actually that same evening, he goes and gets a picture of me straight home from the gym and like has to talk about me. So
Well,
these
isn't
people
that what
and
a
their
narcissist would
BS
do?
apologies, it's just ridiculous. They've made it not about Summer, and that just fires me up even more.
Yep.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
You know, this
Benny's he's just being a narcissist too. So, you know,
Benny's
he
in my opinion, he's an asshole. I mean, I wonder if if his asshole gets tired of all the bullshit coming out of his mouth.
in my opinion, he's dangerous.
Yep.
he can be.
Yeah, when you
I mean,
start,
that's about as much credit as I'll give him. You know, so
exactly.
congratulations there, Benny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hopefully
good
they win
job, Benny,
life.
for scaring women. Good job, or men even. I don't know.
Well, he
If
does. That's the thing. When you look in his chats, it's all women. I call them the Lonely Hearts Club.
Hmm.
But they just fall at his feet, you know, and they'll believe every sick word out of his mouth. And I know he would do the same to them. And what he doesn't realize is, you know, I was a member of his channel in the very beginning, you know, but I caught on real quick. And so it is what it is, you know. This little girl has been missing far too long. You know, all
yeah,
summer
I know.
long, so many of us have cried and lost sleep and just done all
Yeah.
the things that we should have been seeing from her own family. And we never saw that. And perhaps if we did, and it was believable and it was heartfelt,
Right.
then we would be reacting completely different.
Exactly.
Well,
But
I'm
that's
to the
just
point with Don Wells that if he doesn't get on national news media and make a plea, I don't believe anything he says at
no.
all. Because if
And I
that man
saw,
truly,
Well, and I know a lot of people are saying, they've had some issues with EquiSearch and a few other people. I think the only people that have taken the focus off of Summer are her own parents. The people
right.
that want this to go away. They want it done
100%.
and over with.
100%.
You know, they're thankful that
praying,
Gabby's case came along. You
Of
know,
course they are.
they want the attention off of them. And honestly, where do we go from here? I mean, I saw someone mention in the chat earlier, you know, that law enforcement has had 3 months to comb over evidence. And yes, they have. But I can tell you from an inside perspective, they need that one concrete piece. What they have is all circumstantial and, you know, just what common sense tells you. But to
yeah.
be able to have a case that's going to withstand the trial process and
What
actually
if,
get a conviction,
what if
they
Don
need,
What
knows
if,
that last piece of evidence cannot be found or proved? Because I know what you're saying. So, what
yeah,
if
but look
Don is
at
in
that.
control of that last smoking gun they need?
Look how that worked out for Barry Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
What else would it be? I mean, see, I mean, that's an awful thought that girl, that little girl, is somewhere just thrown away and she'll never be found. That torments me. It honestly
Yes.
does. Serious. And it's not
You
even
know,
my kid,
Right.
Don.
right.
That's your daughter laying out. Dude, what you have done, in my opinion, is horrid. Okay? So,
And
that's,
Candace and Grandis.
Right.
yeah, all of them.
Don't
I
forget
want
The
to ask
three
Candace.
what Big Eyes
musketeers.
something. We have some questions in chat that I want to ask her. A lot of people are asking if we know what the familia, I'm saying it wrong. I'm just going to say family connection with law enforcement in the area is. Can we say, or is this a rumor, or could this really be the reason why nothing's being done to Dawn and Candace?
There you go, big
Oh,
guys.
okay, here's the deal.
Okay. You heard it
Don's
here.
mother. Okay, Don's mother was married to a Goad, William Joseph Goad.
Right.
He is connected to the Barretts, the Lights, and so forth in that area in Beach Creek.
Okay.
The sheriff is connected to the Lawsons in that area. Those
Okay.
Lawsons
Hmm.
are connected to the relatives that Don's mother's husband was connected to. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Uh-huh.
Distant cousin.
They don't want the attention
On them.
because there's lots of stuff going on in there that they don't want uncovered. They were
Okay, big
thinking,
eyes. What? Let me ask you a question. I'm
Second,
not
hang
trying
on
to.
once. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Kevin.
What, big eyes? So, if with that being said, what do you think happened to Summer? What's your theory?
I think that something happened to her. I'm not sure if she was gotten rid of because of the attention that was fixing to be focused on Dawn and wanting to keep their other kids because she
Right,
was fixing to start school.
right,
Okay. She was, besides what people say, she was very vocal child.
right.
Okay. She was very outgoing. So what happens when the child starts in school? The primary teachers are trained to look for things going on in the family.
And see,
What is
I
she?
agree with you on that. That she was a very uh, active child, and then on the other hand, she was so active because she craved attention because she wasn't getting it at Ben Hill Hell. You
Right.
know
And so
exactly.
there's that theory, and there's also the other theory that something happened that caused her to die, either drugs or something. Maybe somebody like Candace had one of those flying rages that she was famous for.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know. Unless they can find Summer to verify what all these things are swirling around about, we have no proof. And that's the pin right there that you were talking about, Kevin, that one little bit that keeps everything held back. So,
See,
it
and I gave up on accident a long time ago because an accident, I think they would have actually called 911, and I think that they would have enjoyed the sympathy and attention. If the
right.
boys were responsible, well, we know how they feel about their children. I don't think they would have any problem saying, "Yeah, my son did this."
In that interview, when Don was holding his son looked so scared, upset, like he was just looking at the ground. He didn't know what to say. It had nothing to do with the son.
And the thing of it
Yeah.
is, what really ticks me off is those three damn people, Candace, Dawn, and Grandma, know where Summer is, and they're holding
Yep.
that card right now, and that makes me sick to my
Unless
Yeah.
stomach.
unless Grandis took off with her.
That Grandis ain't no grandma. That's for
I
damn
thought
sure.
that too until, I thought that was a possibility too. I think even Laura at Perplexed QT, she brought that up too, and then the messages
What?
came.
The grandma's really not the grandma?
No, that she is the grandma, but that she took Summer with her, because she bolted out of there pretty fast. My mom's no longer alive, but if that were me and my mother would have stuck with me. It didn't matter about having a doctor's appointment. There's plenty of doctors in Tennessee. Your grandchild is missing, and then the messages came out, that I was on the panel with Emma, Crime Stories Obsessed, and we went over those messages. And, you know, I I I believe they were legit. I don't think that Emma would get up there and make them up. I don't think she had
No.
any reason to. Um, but of course, that's been twisted. So something that could have been a valuable, piece of information for everyone to look at and even just consider, just the possibility that they're real. It just makes you look at things a little bit differently. And now the story is she's not coming back to Tennessee because she's afraid of what Donald after, those messages coming out. So it's just they've made such a mess of everything when all they needed to do from the get go is come out, plead for their daughter, be productive in searching for her and not do what they're doing. And these people that are dragging Dawn on these live streams and these videos and allowing that glimpse into that part of their lives is not helping the case. They're not advocating for Dawn. They're giving the people what they want, which is them making fools of themselves, and they're making their money that way.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a soap opera. It's a soap opera, and
Disgusting.
it's not, and we're not going to find Summer. We're not going to find Summer. No one here is got their boots on, has their backpack and all that stuff out in Tennessee, looking in caverns, caves, wells around that property. We're not going to find her.
No, her own parents are not even doing that. Even if we all wanted to pack up right now and go do it, we couldn't. All we can do is sit here and look at the logical things that are staring us right in the face, and we just need to find this little girl. Do I think she'll be found? Not for a very long time. They have everything working in their favor, which is hellacious terrain and countless places to hide someone when you don't want them to be found. They also had time on their side because we don't know exactly how long, before they actually got police presence out there. We don't know how long. We don't know what kind of plan they had in place. The possibilities are endless. And the three people that can shed any light on it won't talk. They won't talk about their daughter who's missing.
Oh, they'll talk, but it's all about themselves and how they've been treated. And when they have talked, they keep
Their
changing
image.
their story. They keep changing their story.
Yes, and when you're
that
telling the truth,
drives me nuts. That drives me nuts. When the 911 call, what the dispatcher was told and what they said are two totally different things. Then we hear about the tainted orange pop. Get real. That's the dumbest story I've ever heard. Then you hear about the abductor. The abductor.
yes. In Mexico, we were really pushing for Mexico in the beginning.
Even the phone call that she made to Mary was just disgusting, unacceptable. The Candace made to Mary saying that Dawn was taken away.
Yes. I mean, I've been on a scene before. Okay, there was a lady who hadn't seen her grown daughter. Now, her daughter was like her late 20s. Hadn't seen or heard from her in just 2 days. 2 days is all it took for this mom. I mean, I'm little, yes, but this woman made it through six officers, pushed her way through them onto the scene and practically threw me across the room because she just wanted to hold her baby one last time. That's how a parent acts when something tragic has happened to their child. There is just nothing that could keep you from being with your child. And all we want from Dawn and Candace and Grandma is to get up here and show us that. Show us that, and I think a lot of people could get behind them and be a little more supportive. But too much time has passed now. You're going to have to do a really good job of trying to persuade people that you care after all the damage that's already been done.
Okay, I'm going back to let's go back to Grandma for a second. Also, Grandma has never been a grandma. Okay, never. I don't see her. She has never been a grandma. So, I just pray and I hope. I can't wait for the day they drag her ass back to Tennessee. To face charges. And the thing of it is that you're talking about these, how a parent would act if their child's abducted. What's Don's response? Taking a crap on YouTube or whatever he was doing. He's not trying to find his daughter.
He went from wearing dirty t-shirts and work
Yeah.
clothes in front of the media to getting him a new like disco shirt, got him a new hairdo.
Yeah. He makes me sick.
You know, and going to the church, going to your church and sitting in the parking lot to do YouTube interviews with Benny Keys and Voices Behind the Walls, that just shows right there, you know, how invested they are in finding Summer.
Yeah. And yeah, like, and oh man, remember, Cher, she's not on now because her thing about all the hate and all that she's been getting, all the hate mail, and Benny's right in there with them. I mean, or when you play both sides of the fence, it's not going to come out good. Nothing.
Right.
And Cher, I left in one of her comments, she's crying about, I got off YouTube because, I sent her a thing and I said, oh, well, you asked for it, in my opinion. That's what happens when you dance with evil. You tried to play both sides of the fence and it didn't work. In fact, it blew up in your face. I told you so many times, but you just blocked and ignored me. If you can't take the heat, Cher, get out of the kitchen. None of this really bad stuff would have happened, but you chose to defend Don, which in turn defended a man that has many SA victims and has committed a horrific crime, in my opinion. Maybe next time you team up with Benny and Don and Candace, you'll think about why people attacked you. Use your brain, Cher. That's what I said to her. And all that's the truth. I mean,
Right.
these
And
people, they don't care
no, and Benny
about
reached
Summer.
out in one of his messages to me, and he offered to put me in touch with Don Wells. And
Oh,
I'll post the messages on my community page just for transparency. But and I told him I don't have anything to say to Don. I'm not the person he needs to be talking to.
right.
Neither are they.
I am. I'm never going to give up on that clown until Summer gets justice. That's the only reason I got into this was for Summer. She's
Right.
not even my kid. I've had people say, "Oh, that's weird. It's not even your kid, and you're so concerned." Yeah, I am. You know why? She deserves it. It's time across America. These freaking pathetic parents need to be held accountable.
Yes.
This shit's
And I
gone on
remember
long enough.
that first weekend when we were all listening to the scanner. It was like a Saturday night and a Sunday. I remember I was
Right.
on call that weekend, and I was kind of messaging back and forth with another creator, and I had to leave and go to a scene, and I came back and everyone was still glued to the scanner, and we were all hoping so much that was the day she was going to be found. That's when there was still hope to have
Right.
that she would be found, and it was just the biggest letdown.
Yep.
And
I
then
thought for sure Equisearch would find her. I did. They might
yeah,
still. I'm not saying they won't. They do a very good job. But man, something is telling me bad that she can't be found. And if I'm wrong for saying that, I apologize if I offended anyone's hopes of it. But it's getting to the point with me where, man, can she be found? I don't know.
You know what
Because
the
law
thing?
enforcement
I have
hasn't
one
said
thing
a
to say
damn
before I
thing.
leave. Dawn is under investigation for his sisters, his stepsisters, right? Like Jeannie and Mary. Maybe they're going to arrest him, and they're going to say, "Look, we'll give you a lower charge if you tell us where Summer is." And that might be the only way that we'll find out where she is.
That's
can
true.
I address a comment in chat real quick?
Sure.
I know which one it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Aloha Dancing Waters. you don't know the stories behind any of us up here on panel.
Nope.
No, I have never lost a child, but I did watch my mother-in-law's reaction when she lost her child last year. So it's not a bunch of gossip. What we're talking about is things that we've seen with our own eyes and heard with our own ears throughout this whole case. We're not just pulling stuff out of thin air and talking about it for the sake of gossip. And unfortunately, I don't work scenes where the victim is found. I work the scenes where I'm processing the victim to go to the morgue. So I see people lose children more than I ever thought I would. So just please don't think that we're up here just, having chit chat for the fun of it, because there's nothing fun about this.
And we're not up here. We don't know Dawn. We don't know Candace. We don't know Grandis. We're not up here just to bash these people. We didn't just pick them out of the air. I mean, can you help me with this wet big eyes? We see it.
Exactly. We have watched this from the beginning. Like, some people come in and they see this, that, and the other, and they think they know the whole case, but they don't. They need to go back and look at all the stuff that has happened day on. And if they have any sensibility about themselves, they will see that what we're doing here is we're trying to get justice for Summer. We want her found. We want the responsible people to be prosecuted. And until that's done, I know for sure that Brooke and Kevin and everyone else, all the creators that following this, are going to be committed to that.
Right. And I have a feeling that Aloha Dancing Waters is someone related to one of the other channels we've brought up, because they're really pushing the innocent until proven guilty. We're
Yeah,
not
I know what
saying
you're
that
saying.
they're guilty. We're not saying that they're guilty at all. We're saying that their behaviors are suspicious. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
About
and
something different, and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
I
go
know,
ahead. Go
In my
ahead, Deb.
opinion,
I know who you're
go.
talking about. I think I know who you're referring to, Brooks. And yeah, whoever it is just said, yeah, we heard it all already. All speculation, no evidence. Of course, it's speculation, but what else can we do at this point?
I
We
just said that it's speculation, and until they have that one piece of solid evidence, they don't have a case. I just said that 5-10 minutes ago.
we don't have the case file. We have not been investigating this. We haven't.
These
And
are my opinions.
this is it. We are discussing a case. And if anybody wants to say,
Yep.
well, it's innocent until proven guilty, what are you doing here? Check the newspaper when the trial's over. If that's how you want to approach true crime and just say, oh, it's innocent till proven guilty, don't talk about it, then why are you here? We're discussing this case and what's going on and where this little girl is.
We're having
We
a
can block you
conversation
forever
just
if that's
like
what
we
you
would
want.
around a table having breakfast together. The only difference is we're doing it on a public platform and allowing other people to get involved in the discussion too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the only reason I'm doing this is for Summer. Really. I don't
Why
make
else
no
would you
money.
do
I don't get
this?
no fame and glory.
I don't even have a YouTube channel, so why else would I do this if it wasn't because that little girl won over my heart and I want her found? Why else would I do this?
Yep.
Would I do this just for fun because I have nothing else to do? No. I do have other things to do, but this is important to me. I pray for that little girl.
Yeah, because
every single
there's a
night.
lot of times there's a lot of times when this YouTube, you put your opinions out there. It's not always fun and games. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
There's
Phoenix.
people that will attack you.
We aren't charged with proving anything beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
No, and
I know,
innocent until proven guilty, that's for the police, not me. I don't have a badge.
Right.
I have
We
an
can talk
opinion,
about
and I'm gonna use it.
Yes,
I'm not gonna blame anybody, but I mean, I'm gonna speculate. I'm gonna theorize. So just because it's the most recent case, let's discuss this. Look at what unfolded from September 11th to where we are now with Gabby. Those parents went hard.
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
Don has been whining and crying. I just want to find my daughter. He's not pleading for his daughter. I just want to find my daughter. But who has been trying to help find his daughter? He's bashing them. EquiSearch, the search and rescue people. He even said TBI, they were dumbasses. They don't have shit.
He doesn't trust the police.
Huh?
Of course not. He's a criminal.
Well, you know what, Don Wells? We just want to find your daughter too. So what can we do to help you?
And I have a feeling
what we
if
can
Don Wells wants to put his mind to it, he could find her real quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they take you right to her, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard people accuse these other channels, you know, of plotting something to try to get the reward money. Well, you can kiss that goodbye if that's what they were hoping for, because, you know, it's all, there's a whole digital footprint of every way that they do not deserve any reward money.
Oh, that's
So,
yeah, I hate
You
when
know what I
people
want to say? Okay, Don, you can have the reward money. Where's Summer?
I hate when people say that. They say it in Facebook groups too. Oh, they're just doing that to get the reward money. Have you ever, in the beginning, I mean, ever, let's just go back just a few years, you know, doing true crime on the internet, ever seen a YouTuber, someone on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Reddit, get a reward for discussing a case? Hell no.
Exactly.
That's not why we do this.
God.
You know what? And the thing of it is, if that's what it takes to find Summer, Don, you can have the freaking reward money. Good luck spending it. You know, you go ahead. Tell us where Summer is. To me, that's worth the reward money, in my opinion. I want to know where that little girl is.
That
this is
there's
bullshit.
There's a few creators or, you know, influencers I know that if they were to ever get a reward, like that would ever happen, I know that they would take that reward money and they would turn around and they would put it directly to something good. They wouldn't keep that money.
Yeah.
No,
it's not about
who
money.
in here would keep blood money? Who?
Not me.
Blood money.
Benny.
Good.
Yeah, blood money, Benny.
Oh,
And
he
let's
would.
Look up the
this.
definition of blood money.
I want to see what Big Eye thinks about this. Have you noticed that all of the groups, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube has gone pretty much quiet on Summer?
Exactly.
Yes.
Because they
Not
wanted,
me.
you know, all the ones behind this wanted to go away. They never thought it would go past a couple of weeks. They never guessed that we would all just fall in love with that little girl and want to find her and want justice for her. Her little life mattered, and it still does.
It does.
I mean, my 7-year-old
I
colored
will not
pictures
quit.
for Summer.
If that's what it takes, I'll still be here. Promise. Till the day I die, I am not giving up on Summer. Absolutely not. I will talk about her whenever I can.
I can't. I can't,
No.
even if I wanted to. I've tried to take myself away from YouTube and I can't. I can't because I want her found.
And
But Summer is very special.
even the creators who claim to be, you know, advocating for Dawn and Candace, they're not even talking about Summer anymore. Why?
No.
Because so many other people have taken a step back, and the only content they have and the only thing they can talk about is Dawn and Candace.
That's
Well, I
what
don't
Kevin
know.
and I were talking about. We said, you know, they have
We've
stopped.
talked about this several times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brooks. I just say we talked about this several times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with Chasing Justice. I mean, the content has been Dawn's stupidness.
Yep.
Well, here's my content.
But that's what it took. But see, we have to watch this because that's what it takes to keep summer alive in our minds, in our hearts. We cannot let the enemy win, man. I'm going down fighting. So I hope everybody's with me, which I'm sure there are a lot of people that will go down with a fight for summer. No,
Exactly. And they're dragging all
for
these
some
other.
reason, God,
I want to keep Summer's name out there. I don't, and there's so many other kids that deserve it too. We don't ever hear about Xavier Harrelson.
No.
I mean, these other creators, why don't they pick that up? I mean, I don't want them to because I've seen what they do to cases. But there's so many other ways they could use their platform for something productive. Xavier hasn't gotten the attention he needs. And that's
No.
another parent who's not doing anything to help find their child. But I mean, that comment earlier just really got to me because we don't have to lose a child to understand the love of a parent.
I have 3 kids. I have a boy and 2 daughters, 23 and 25, my daughters, and I just could not imagine.
Right. I mean, my
I mean,
son,
look
he's
at
19.
Rayshon's. Look at
Go ahead.
Rayshon's channel with the Orson West. That man has not given up on them kids since the beginning. Look what he's
Right.
doing. He may not have very many views and stuff, but I'll tell you what, I take that man to the bank with my heart. That man, he cares about them
Yes.
kids, and that's what it takes to stay in this the long haul. This is going to be a fight.
Right. And I do want to
We
mention,
cannot let Donnie Candace win.
I do want to mention Little Monkey, Michael Vaughn, because I saw his name pop up in the
Yep.
chat. We
Yes.
haven't forgotten him either. I mean, this happens daily. Forget about, making Don Wells famous. You guys have these platforms with a lot of subscribers. So be the better people that you're claiming to be and talk about some of these other children. Dig in, do your research. Don't just hop on Google and look up big words and different criminal justice terms. That's not helping. Get out there and, get out from behind your screens for a little bit. Order all these flyers that you're telling people that are available for free. I went and hung flyers for Xavier around my town. I don't live anywhere near him.
Well, I went to the dollar store yesterday I went to Dollar General and dollar store. I went to both places, no purple light bulbs. So I've got to get them. I'm going to have to order from Amazon because where I live is
I ordered
not a
mine
big
from
city.
Amazon. I got some
Yeah, I'm
orange
going
ones
to.
for Xavier. I mean, I ordered a t-shirt. I did whatever I could. But what I didn't do is get on here and try to convince everyone, that nothing bad happened. And, it's not about that.
Right.
Something bad did happen because these children are missing.
Exactly. They would be at their house if nothing happened.
It's
Yeah,
just,
big guy. So what do you think about all this keeping Summer's name alive? I mean, what's some of your ideas too?
Well, every day I make at least one community post about Summer just to keep her name out there. And then I'm too following Monkey Bond, and I'm following Xavier, and I'm following the Wet Boys. But there's just nothing out there. And so occasionally I do
Right.
that, but focus is to find Summer.
Mm.
For some reason, she just stole my heart.
I know.
Stole all of our
You know
hearts.
why? I think the reason it drags your heart so bad with Summer is because you got to see how that little girl had to live.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm.
Look at that house. Look at her parents. She had 5 years of, in my opinion, hell for a kid. Little kids are resilient, but scars last forever, man. You
Yeah.
know, and that little girl, her 5 years on Earth were terrible, in my opinion.
I got to say something just real quick. I don't want to interrupt this
Sure.
conversation because it's great. There's a
No,
couple
go
of
right
you
ahead.
accounts from another live that are causing problems in here that are going to be blocked right now. You wanted the attention. I'm just
Right.
going to give it to you because it's ridiculous.
Well, I just got a
What were they
comment
saying, Brooke?
that Benny Keys is over there on a live. Well, I got the comment an hour ago that his phone was ringing off the hook. He's blaming me, and it says they are over there now bagging you out. BK phone is ringing, which he has done to himself. Anyway, they are blaming you. Well, Benny Keys, it's and all his little followers. It's not me calling him because I've been on this panel for an hour. So
Yeah.
nice try.
I damn sure ain't calling him. I don't even want to know his freaking phone number.
I know
Neither do
better.
I.
I've
You
had his
know?
phone number for months and I won't call him. He only calls me on Facebook Messenger and I've not one time ever picked up. And that's what's driving him up the wall. I haven't
Well,
even
he
met
also
him
did that to
today.
Doug. He did
Yeah,
that to Doug at No Thanks. Yeah, he kept calling Doug. You know, and Doug
yeah.
was like, all right, you want to play this game? Let's play. You know?
So, I
So,
mean, that just shows these are the people that are out here fighting so hard for summer, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. I do want to put Kevin undercover to take that victims advocacy class.
Oh, that would be funny.
What do
But,
you think? What, Big
yeah, I
Eyes?
mean, who?
Yeah, he's an advocate, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh, don't even
I
Yeah,
told
start.
him
how?
in one of my
He's,
videos he's a lunatic, but he's not an advocate.
Yeah.
right. His class should be called How Not to Be an Advocate. You know? I can't believe there's people paying that man for that. That's,
Well, he's not even
I
doing
don't
that
know.
course anymore. That got shut down. That got shut down shortly after,
Right.
like, Words Have Power and T-Spiracy did a live about that because Words Have Power is a real victims advocate. And, you know, she kind of set the record straight on what you would have to do to even be able to legally call yourself one. And
Right.
then you just never heard
But
any
he can
more about
legally
the
do that.
victims advocacy course. He just kind of dropped it.
But
So,
see, the thing of it is, Benny knows the loopholes, and he's using
right,
them, in my
right.
opinion. Benny knows. You know, he's like one step away from getting arrested, but yet he still continues, man.
Oh, he
What?
literally is one step
Wow.
away.
He
Well, my
just
thing is,
pushes it.
oh, sorry, Big Eyes.
He's just pushing it to the hilt, you know.
He's not even,
top.
he's not worth anyone's time.
No.
No.
You know, and when people they stop discussing Summer, who's a missing child. No, I don't believe she's alive. I don't think she's out there searching for her parents or her home. But still, you know, I mean, to the community, you've got a murderer amongst you. How unnerving is that?
Right.
And some of these channels, they go from talking about Summer and they start talking about Chris Watts again. That is overdone. That horse has been beat, brought back to life, and beat again.
And he
There's
gets
nothing,
love letters from
you know,
women in prison all the time.
Yes.
Chris Watts.
I don't get that. I just don't understand that, man.
I
I
don't
guess
get it either.
guys, it's different, maybe. But, you know, I think the
Not for me.
best, it's just, this whole thing with Summer is just absolutely disgraceful. I can't even find the words to say how bad of parents they are. I can't even think of a word to completely describe them.
And the thing
What are
is
you going to
they,
say,
you know,
pathetic?
I will say,
Go ahead.
if all of the stories that we've heard, about Dawn and Candace's past and growing up and things that have happened to them and things like that, I get it. Bad things happen to people. But we as adults have a responsibility that, especially when you have children, you either take those bad things that happen to you and you grow from them and you improve yourself and you be 180 times better for your children than what you had. And that's what keeps the world
My
turning.
child, right?
But
My childhood was absolutely horrid. You don't see me doing that shit. Parents don't do that. Real parents.
exactly. I mean, I
It's just
survived
terrible.
horrible things in my life,
So
some
did
that
I.
were not my choice, and some, I just made stupid decisions when I was younger. And,
Yeah.
I could be just like that, but I chose differently for myself, especially the moment I found out I was going to be a mom. Everything shifted for me. And you have that responsibility to take these lives that aren't even yours. I mean, you're just lucky enough that God chose you to take care of them until he decides to bring them
Right.
home again. And
You
that's
know
a
what?
responsibility.
Your children are a gift from God. This is my opinion. Your children are a gift from God to enjoy while you're on earth and they're on earth. They're not your kids in the end. They're God's
Exactly.
kids. So
Exactly.
if you're hiding let's say your 5-year-old daughter, if you're hiding her, I don't think God is very happy whatsoever, in my opinion. That ain't right. And you, I truly believe you're going to answer for that someday.
Oh, he will.
You
Exactly. I
know,
mean, he might get away with
you
it for
cannot.
now, but you don't
Right.
get away with everything in the next. And he's a Christian man, right? He should know all of this.
I do believe Don believes in God. I don't. He's not an atheist. I believe he believes in God. But the thing of it is, you can't hide behind evil with God. Okay, it will never work. There's black and there's white, and Don is on the black side of the spectrum, in my opinion.
Dark side
You
of the
know,
moon.
Yep.
Brooks, why don't you play? You want to play that song for Don?
Oh, yeah, I'll put that on real quick. Hang on.
I'm gonna bounce, guys. I
I
just wanted
think
to
you
give my
guys will
opinion.
enjoy this. We need a little bit of a break for a second. A little bit of humor. Oh,
Who's leaving? Who said they had to go?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce. Yeah, I'm leaving. I just wanted to say my opinion.
Well, thank you. It was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you all as well, and I'm gonna
yes,
go
thank you
back
very
and do
much.
my job as a mod.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Deb, thanks for all
Oh,
you do. I don't know if she can still hear me because she does great moderating and everything.
Yeah, I like the mods who greet everyone when they come in. Like I'm a mod for a couple of different people, and I always try to. Sometimes I miss. And now, especially since everyone's like learning to know who I am, like I feel bad when everyone's telling me hello and I'm like driving and I can't individual greet. That bothers me.
yeah, or you can't type it fast enough. You know?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's my problem.
But if any of you
Did you
guys are
find that,
here,
Brooks?
know that I always see all of you and I appreciate all of your support.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did you
I'm
find
Same
it,
here.
Brooks?
I love
Same for me, you
music.
guys. Appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I wish I could be in everyone's lives all the time. You let them to know I support what they're doing, but it's hard to
Are you
do. There's
tired of love
so many of
songs
them.
always being about somebody else? You You were always on my mind. Instead, introducing the complete narcissistic song collection. I was always on my mind. 138 songs all about me. I am so beautiful to me. Have some me time with the narcissistic song collection. I kissed myself and I liked it. Taste of my cherry chopstick. Remember, there's no I in team, but there should be. I watch myself while myself watches me who watches I go by. You're worth it. And by that I mean I'm worth it. Hello, is it me I'm looking for? Did you ever know that I'm my own hero? But this album is not available in the stores. Only. But buy this very special collection today, and we will throw it for free. The complete insulting song collection. You're a creep. You're a weirdo. What the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here.
That is hilarious.
Bad. That is so funny. You know those songs? Oh my
I love
gosh.
when people do music time
But
on their
anyway,
live.
that,
He does music time for us all the time, and it's great. He'll do it on the
I
weekend.
know
Like
that's,
we've all
yeah,
had he'll like on Friday or Saturday night, he'll get on there for about an hour and do like just the funniest songs. But it's refreshing after
yep.
a hard week of taking these beatings from these people.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you need a little bit of humor, you know, a
Yeah, you
song or
do.
something in your life.
Because all of
Because
this
this
is
shit is
so
depressing.
dark. If we can't keep it as lighthearted as possible, considering what's going on.
Yes. And that's another thing that bothers
Yeah.
me about people like putting Equisearch down so bad, because what I do and what they do is not that different. And I can tell you that it doing what I do is not for the faint of heart. I take that home with me. I'm learning, I'm getting better at kind of disassociating and not letting it get to me, but it's hard. And Equisearch, at least I'm prepared for what I'm going to see when I go on a scene. Equisearch is not. They see horrible things all the time, whether it's
Yeah. Can
arresting
you
or
imagine what they,
repairing. And they
yeah,
follow
can
it
you imagine what can
right.
you imagine what Equisearch is? I was just
Yeah,
saying, I'm sorry. I was just saying, can you imagine what Equisearch is seeing?
exactly. And
Man.
they do this out of the kindness
Oh,
of their hearts.
let's say they find Summer. Could you imagine uh, the emotions you would have if you seen, a little girl like that? Oh my gosh. I give
Right,
them so much credit. Wow.
right.
You're
And,
right. It would be bittersweet. It would
because
be
they're,
like, yeah, it would be like, uh, it would be bittersweet because it would be like, oh, thank God I found her. But then there's the other side. You know what I mean? If this is the case.
yeah, there's so much emotion behind it now, and it's like, especially if they find her and she is like so close to home. Could you imagine? They would beat themselves up thinking, why couldn't we find her before? It's just, it's not an easy thing to do. So when people bash EquiSearch. Oh, it just bothers me so bad because
Or they trash the police, or they trash
exactly.
the search and rescue that was out there for days and days and days looking for her. And, you know, Don's like, they're not going to find anything. Then why didn't you tell him that in the beginning?
Yeah.
Why aren't you communicating? Well, we know why he's not communicating. We know that.
And the whole thing when he said he was hanging out at the police station every day because he just had to keep himself busy. No, he was hanging out there every day to try to listen and see what they knew. And then once he felt comfortable that they really didn't know anything, he quit needing to be busy all the time and hanging out up there.
What do you think, What Big Eyes?
Yeah, I think that's true. He was there to see what they know. And he feels so cocky now, so sure that no one is ever going to find Summer.
That's exactly what Kev and I have been talking about. They're not going to find her. That's the reason they're pulling all these insane stunts, and they're so arrogant.
Exactly. And I think that there's a possibility she's been moved a couple of times.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, how did Don also address that? I feel so sorry for them searchers. Their legs are getting scratched up and all this. If that was your kid, that wouldn't even come into my mind that I feel sorry for the searchers. You know why he said that? Because he knows they're wasting their damn time. That's why.
Yes.
In my opinion.
You save
That's why he
stuff
said
like
that.
You save comments like that for when they come back after being out there for 3 or 4 days.
Exactly.
That's when you throw yourselves into their arms and you hug them and you cry on them and you tell them thank you so much for being away from your family in this heat, in this humidity, you know, putting your own lives at risk to find my little girl. And can I do something to help you clean those scratches up off on your legs? That's when comments like that need to be made. Not while they're out there looking for your child and you're sitting there with this smug grin on your face and can barely put a sentence together.
Exactly.
All that told me was...
Or passed out in the recliner, or pranking Mary saying, they took Donnie. They're taking to Boston. I'm like, what?
You know where they got Boston from? They got Boston from a creator's hometown. I'm not going to mention her by name.
I don't know where they pull this stuff up out of the air. I mean, but they think they're geniuses. I mean, they put their plan together,
but
and
to me, it was just mighty convenient that creator, you know, they expect that the public is not going to pick up on this. I mean, do they do that? Do they sit around on weeknights and get loaded and prank call people? Is this the
Tuesday
norm
night?
for them?
Yeah, I think they do.
I don't
No, I think that's exactly what they do.
Well, actually, I prank called my 16-year-old daughter the other night. I'm not going to lie. But we do that to each other.
But no, what they're doing, they're sitting up in that piece of trash they call a house. They're sitting up there, and they're planning their next moves, and they're planning the rest of their lives without their kids. Okay? That's all they're doing. And drinking and God knows what else. They're not looking for their daughter. They're planning their next prank or their lives without their kids. You know?
Right.
I hope Candace never has another one.
Oh, goodness
Ah.
me. But
well, looking at the condition of her in the recliner, it's safe to say it's not a healthy pregnancy if she does get pregnant again.
Yeah, and there's been all those rumors, you know, that she is pregnant and it's H's baby. And, you know, that's just... And you know who gets blamed for all those rumors is this handful of creators who actually do care about Summer. I mean, the majority of all these rumors are coming from those crazy Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But if we just, and I'm sure that someone's going to pick up on this and they're going to run with it and say, oh my gosh, did you hear Chasing Justice? She said Candace is pregnant with H's baby. No, I did not say that. So, but they'll go in and hear bits and pieces of us talking like this, and they just take off with it. And next thing you know, we're
I
getting
just said,
blamed
I
for
hope to
something
God
else.
she's not.
No, I
Yeah,
think we know.
I
I think
just,
we know where her maternal instinct is, just like her mama. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
yep.
So let's talk about that. What big eyes? I mean, think about being a grandmother. Your granddaughter's missing, and you take off. Some people in chat were saying, "Well, maybe she is cooperating, and that's the reason she got out of there."
Well,
Not.
you could say that, but you have to look at her past deal. She left her husband when Rosemary was young, and the dad had to sue her for child support. Does that tell you anything?
Well, I can tell you something right now. Grandma is not working with law enforcement. You know why? Because she knows where Summer is and she knows what happened.
Right?
In
They
my
probably
opinion,
know.
that lady knows the whole story.
Everyone was saying, oh, well, if she was guilty of anything, they wouldn't have let her leave. Well, if they could not prove that she was guilty of anything, they had to let her leave. It doesn't mean they wanted to. And I'm not saying that, this is just my opinion based on my experience. Just
Right.
like I hate that we always have to say that because people don't just understand it automatically. But I'm not saying she is guilty of anything. I'm just saying that just because she was allowed to leave does not mean that she's 100% innocent. They know law enforcement has a good idea of what happened. They're not stupid. Even if you have one or two or three bad apples in the bunch, the good outweigh the bad. And this case is eating them up the way it is us too.
I agree.
That's the worst feeling in the world, to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that someone is 99.99% responsible for a crime, but you don't have that one piece that's going to be able to get a conviction.
Well,
It's terrible.
that's
It's a terrible feeling.
that's like what Big Eyes is trying to uncover. That's the shit that could be the reason why. I don't know the whole dynamics of that, of who's in, if there's higher ups involved. I have no idea, but that if that theory was correct, in my opinion, then that would make sense. Why law enforcement? You know what I mean? I'm not accusing law enforcement of anything but caring for Summer.
Right.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. But
Right.
man, the way this case is, though, there could be a twist that that's how it's been. It's just unbelievable.
It
Yeah,
This
is.
whole thing.
it's not necessarily that law enforcement per se is doing anything to prevent justice. I'm saying maybe there's some heads that have been turned to look the other way. You know what I'm saying? Just look.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, and it does happen. There's, the two cases I'm working on out of Tennessee. It's the same situation. And that, is almost a guarantee that there's some law enforcement involved in that. But that doesn't mean that in every case that comes through the state of Tennessee or any other state that there's just all this corruption. But it is a possibility. And those are just the things that we're talking about. I don't understand why people get so fired up for people mulling over ideas
I don't
and
either.
trying to
I don't get it.
understand.
There's a case here in Texas.
But you know what?
Hang on one second.
A lot of times.
Hang on one second. Go ahead. What Big Eyes? Sorry.
Okay. There's a case here in Texas, several counties over from me, where this man was shot and then his house set on fire to cover up his murder. The people were arrested right away. and then they're out on bond. And because the prosecutor says the county is short of funds, those people can roam around for the rest of their lives and never see one day more of jail than they have been in. Now, that's what it's come to in a lot of places is money. And what did we hear in Hawkins County at that commission meeting?
Yes.
They were raking the sheriff's department over the coals about spending so much money.
Yep.
So what happens now
Yes.
when we have children who need justice and because of a few bucks, they don't get it? So
Exactly.
as people and members of our community, we need to hold their feet to the fire, even if it means everyone's taxes go up or someone contributes more to help with a certain department. There has to be something done because we can't keep on letting our children be slaughtered and people get away with it.
Right. And I know
Hopefully, summer will change that.
in my state, we have the education lottery, which is supposed to go back into the school systems and things like that. We have a portion of our taxes that's supposed to go to repair roads. I mean, all this money is allotted for certain things. Okay, the education lottery is not helping because why am I still having to buy 15 boxes of crayons at the beginning of every school year? And things
Yep.
like that. They're not putting it back into the schools. My daughter got a lunch of canned tuna salad, crackers, and some expired raisins. That was her school lunch.
Oh,
So how about let's just take the education lottery away and put that money into law enforcement? Let's do that. If they're so, strapped for cash and they can't put the manpower and stuff behind these cases, us parents will take care of our children and their education because we do it anyway. There's
Right.
money out there that they can use for things like this. But you've got people that, like here, we're having a recruiting shortage. People aren't applying to be law enforcement officers here.
Would you, with today's
No,
climate, would you?
no. That's why
you know
I
what?
chose the field I chose because even though emotionally it's harder, I can still do my due diligence and serve my community in that way because I would not want to be out there on the front lines. I wouldn't.
Nope. So we're going to start winding this down. So everybody, in closing, what do you have to say as far as keeping Summer's case going? You go first, Chasing Justice.
I think we need to keep doing what we've just done here today. Just keep fighting the good fight. Keep talking about her. Don't let people forget about her. This isn't a competition with these cases. They all deserve equal amount of attention. And I know that I haven't been very vocal about Summer, but I'm going to start being vocal about Summer because what some other people are doing is really pissing me off. And, that's just what it is. We need to find this little girl, and whoever's responsible needs to be held accountable. And if I can do anything from my neck of the woods to help, then I'm going to go all in and help.
Absolutely agreed. What do you say, what Big Eyes?
Well, we need to keep her name out there. We need to do this like we did today, this forum of talking about the case and keeping Summer's name before people because they tend to forget. They're very fickle, Creators that really care about this case should be making a community post every day, even though they can't make a video because there's really nothing to do other than discuss it. But that's what we need to do as people who really care. And for the people out there in the audience, they need to follow the creators who really care and love Summer.
Agreed. In closing, what do you have to say, Kevin?
Well,
how do we keep Summer's
in
name out?
closing, what I'd like to see, what I would like to see is everybody, be in this for the long haul because this could take a lot longer than it already has. Seriously, this could be it could be months. Actually, I mean, there's cases where it's been a year. So everybody just keeps Summer's name, be in it for the long run, not just for the immediate gratification, but for the long run, and just keep talking about her, the way she had to live, and her parents. Don't ever let up, because that's what they want. Don't let them win, Okay, call a spade every day of the week. That's all I got.
Oh, I agree, because when we forget about missing children as a society, we're shit people.
Yeah.
Right.
We're bad people. I mean, we are.
What do you
I'm
what
not
do you
saying
want to see done, Brooks?
I'm not saying Kevin's a bad person, What Big Eyes is a bad person, Chasing Justice is a bad person, anyone in chat. But when it just goes away and we're like, oh, hey, I wonder what they ever did about that little girl. Keep it going. We all have social media. And there was an Amber Alert today in my state. Well, they already found the child. That's why this Amber Alert to me has never made any sense. And there is something very wrong that went on that property. Something went down there between the parents. I really think that there will be justice for Summer someday. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but I think if we continue talking about it and people don't forget.
Yeah, we definitely have to keep the conversations going and not allow people the opportunity to forget.
That's exactly right. Keep her name out there. Keep talking about this case.
Keep having these discussions. It'll come sooner than later, I think, if we keep doing this. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. What Big Eyes. Thank you, Chasing Justice.
You're welcome.
Brooks,
You are the bomb. What?
Are you going to play that? Are we going to close with that song?
Yep, we'll do it right now, my friend. Hang on.
Okay, everybody, make sure you watch the words to this song. This is a message to the Wells.